Hello, everyone. Before we start this week's episode of Slightly Average Guys, we want to tell you about a special event. Friday, July 23rd at 7 p.m. Arizona time, we're going to do a Slightly Average Guys drinking fest. We're going to be hanging out, playing games, drinking, and there might even be some special guests, so please make sure you join us. This isn't going to be a show format, it's just to come out and hang. So come join us live Friday, July 23rd at 7 p.m. Arizona time. We hope that you enjoy this episode of Slightly Average Guys.
Welcome to our new followers. Welcome to our constant followers. We appreciate your guys' business.
We love
it. I guess it's a business. Don't quote me on that. We
Yeah.
appreciate you guys being here, following all that good stuff. Some exciting news. We are on YouTube Live simultaneously right now. So you can actually go to YouTube. I'm going to wait. We're going to do it right now. Go to YouTube, click on the live button, and just type in Slightly Average Guys, and you'll be able to watch us live there too. Not everybody has a Twitch account, right? I understand that. Everybody can get on YouTube, right? You actually have to have an account to get on Twitch, I believe. Don't quote me. But anybody can go to YouTube, send it to your friends, send it to your family. We're excited to be on a new platform as well. Share it, follow us, like it, review it, all that good stuff. Welcome back, Slightly Average Guys podcast live.
And you hit on a ton of different stuff there. And I'm just now pulling up the feed, and it just is talking back into my own microphone. No, but our idea was that there's only so many people on Twitch that go into it. There's a lot of people that don't necessarily want to create an account on Twitch, don't understand it, can't really use it because it's not super user friendly. Let's be honest. Not only just for the people listening, but massively also for us. It's kind of a pain in the butt to do. So. There's a bunch of people that have recently started to move over to YouTube, so I figured I'd launch on that, as well as we're actually streaming onto my personal Facebook page at the exact same time. So multiple places for all of the things.
One might say we're moving on up to the east side in a deluxe apartment in the sky.
That I feel might be a trademark infringement. I mean, it might not, but I feel like it possibly could be.
We'll just edit that one.
So it's okay to say it. You just can't sing it, right?
I can't sing it.
That's right, what it is. Okay.
Sure.
All right. Let's jump right into some topics this week. One of the most relevant ones is, there's a lot of talks about aliens lately, weird things in the sky. I've seen some weird things, and something happened. I think it was yesterday. It might have been today. Ryan Teeter got probed. Okay. So, Ryan, explain your probing, sensation. How did it make you feel inside? And why do you feel that spreading eagle for this test was awkward?
I'm not going to lie. You completely threw me off there. 100%. I'm like, I thought I knew the topics that we were going to talk about. and then he just throws me a curveball. And I'm like, I can handle curveballs, right? He's done it before with the random question or whatever. But damn. Okay. Well, notice I sat back a little bit because I feel like I have to get, not in story mode. This isn't going to take that long, but it was just an experience, right? So the experience is I got COVID tested today. Not for any, it is for a particular reason, right? I'm going to a wedding. And in order to go to this wedding, you have to be negative, right? So easy. Have I experienced any symptoms? No. Have I been exposed? Not to my knowledge, but I'm sure I have, at one point. Have I ever had COVID? No. Blah, blah, blah. No, and no. So, not trying to worry anybody, but I went to go get COVID tested. You go to the website, you sign up, you just take a little survey with all those no's that I just gave you. And boom, you get a thing. It's saying bring your ID, bring your insurance card as well. Like, okay, ID, I get it. Insurance card, I'm like, is this going to cost anything? Is this what is going on? So either way, not really that big of a deal. I'm just kind of nervous. Corey and I go there at 4:00 today. We're both driving because we both book at the same time. I'm like, are you nervous? She goes, yeah, I'm kind of nervous. We're talking the entire time. Sorry, one of my cords just fell. We're talking the entire time. And we're just like, so how far do you think they stick these things up our nose? How is it like this much that they have to put in there? Is it how much is actually on there? We're just getting nervous. I got a deviated septum right now with my nose that I think I've talked about earlier in a couple shows. I'm also kind of worried about that. Is this going to be painful? I've been having like scars and scratches up there, and I was worried that this thing is gonna come out bloody too. I'm just like, I hope that it turns out well. Anyways, we get there, we start listening to these instructions, and again, she starts saying, "Don't touch the test sample. Grab the paper. Just this one's yours. This one's yours. Just don't mix them up." Blah 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 blah. And I'm just like listening, because again, maybe not again. Let me set the precedence. We drive up to a Walgreens. Okay. We go to their drive-through like we're going to get pills. Okay. There is no contact. There's 100% a glass wall in front of us. And we're just talking through a little monitor, and she hands it through like the little things at the bank that you just slide back and forth essentially. And so I'm like, okay, that's a little bit more reasonable. So she hands us this test. I spread open the test like a banana. Literally, it's like a banana peel. You just peel the banana, and you bring out this thing that's just like, oh, wow. You literally like, it's like this long. You just like wave it around in the air. And I'm real nervous. Little note that I forgot to tell you though, she only said there's a little swab basically on the end of it that's about this big. And all she said was just stick it up in your nose and just go maybe like a little bit further. And 30 seconds in each nose. Just make sure you get a whole bunch in there. Just get it up and around, and you don't have to be aggressive with it. Was it uncomfortable with my deviated septum? Right? Like, yes, absolutely. Was it painful? No. Was it uncomfortable? Yeah. I mean, I don't want my finger in my nose for 30 seconds. Why do I want this thing in my nose for 30 seconds? So 30 seconds for each side. Corey and I probably shorted it, and it's all hunky dory. We didn't have to stick these things up in our nose like, a mile up in there, which is good. So then we're like, man, we get done. Wonder when our tests are going to come back. We got our test, no joke, probably an hour after we went there. I'm just mind boggled. You have machines at Walgreens that can tell me within an hour of being tested if I have, things have progressed. I'm not to tell them that they can't do that, but it's just like, okay, that was super easy. So anyways, if anybody wants to go get tested, it's not that big of a deal. It's super easy. It was also free. I had to do it for a wedding again, but that was my experience. It was just weird. Have you guys gotten tested at all?
Nope.
Wow, I was gonna say something that would have been okay to say like 5 years ago, and now it's not okay. But it was a line from Family Guy, and if you know me, Peter found out he was something. Okay, go look it up. Of what did Peter find out he was, and know that was the joke I was about to say, and it was wildly inappropriate now. Okay, no, I haven't been tested. My father was tested recently because he had to have a procedure and go get it tested, in which he said the exact same thing. He's like, yeah, he's like, they're just, partially in your nose and do this. I was like, so now is it really just, are we really testing, since you used to have to go to the back of your, brain cavity and tickle, your spinal cord through your nostril, like, and now it's just here, and you can't tell me the technology got any better. It's the same technology. It's just, where are you testing it from? So is it now just a formality to be able to check off the box that you didn't have it? That's the only thing that I was thinking. And also, you're not supposed to say the full word because YouTube will sometimes take the stream down. So now just say the C word. C word and the V word.
Oh,
C
the
word.
CV.
Yeah.
Can we spell it?
You probably be okay.
Can we say it without the 19?
No, you cannot say the C word, because then you may get shut down for inappropriately distributing information that is not the propaganda that somebody wants you to know about.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, it wasn't that big of a deal. I'm kind of glad I at least experienced it once. I just feel extremely bad when they did have to touch your spinal cord through your nostril cavity.
Yeah, that one looked intense. And then like I made the joke about being probed to start out with. Like, did you legitimately see the one that I can't remember if it was Japan or China literally came out with? Have you seen that, Ryan?
I have not. No.
Andy, how about you?
No.
There's legitimately a whole country that said it was better to rectally do it. You would get a test faster, and it was more accurate to do it rectally. And it was like, and they were doing it in airports when people were flying in. It was like, are we like legit doing this right now. They had like diagrams on the walls of like, you know, artwork of basically people spreading their cheeks in order to do it. That's where in the areas they wanted you to do it, and it just cracked me up. I'm like, okay,
I do remember that.
didn't want to
It was
travel in the
crazy.
first place, but definitely don't want to travel now.
Yeah, but basically what
Wow.
this means for me is I'm negative, so I go get to party and drink free booze. I'm excited.
Nice.
Good stuff. Well, that kind of leads to one of the other topics I had, and I'm going to move stuff out of order here. And that is, you know, why do adults get so excited about things that are so dumb,
Mm.
right? Like as kids, you know, you would get excited about dumb stuff, but you look back now, you're like, oh, I was innocent. And that's really not dumb. It's just like, I wish I could get back to that level of innocence so that would be fun again, right? But like as an adult, you're never going to grow out of the stage that you're in, which is, you know what? I'm going to go buy a new bed or a new nightstand, right? And you're like so excited about it. I'm going to get a pillow top, you know? I'm going to get new sheets. And that first time you slide in that thing, oh, those sheets feel so good. So good. Like, why are we as adults, you know, so excited about dumb stuff?
It's interesting. I don't know.
Andy, what is your dumb thing that you've most recently been excited about?
Probably everything that you see around me in this room, right? Creating this space and buying all these gadgets and toys, and you know, I've always had a lot of toys in my office anyway, so now that I get to have them at home, but probably just the gear and I want to say process, but just going from nothing to creating something that, but thinking back though, I did get excited when we bought a new mattress. Like we spent like $2,000 or $3,000. And I was like, yes, so pumped. But I think the excitement was like, I feel responsible because I'm not spending it on something stupid. So
yeah. Ryan, have you had a recent experience where you're like, hey, this is the adult thing and I'm actually excited about it?
Absolutely. And you know, if my dad's listening out there, he would appreciate this because back when I was a kid, he used to do the same thing. And we could pinpoint when he would do it as well. And that is sweeping the floors.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
We had this janky ass sweeper that you buy from, you know, Walmart or it's like the lowest of the low, like a college brand, right? One of the ones where it has the adjustment like your carpet, flooring, whatever. It has like 3 little adjustment things and it does nothing. It's like one of those.
Yeah.
Because I flipped it upside down at one point and I was like, is there anything that moves when I twist this button?
The only thing is it's supposed to adjust the height, but almost none of them even adjusted the height.
Yeah.
It doesn't even work. So anyways, I kept bitching and I'm like, Corey, I hate your sweep. She's like, buy a new one. And I'm like, that's a great idea. I'm an adult. So I literally bought this amazing, well, Ryan, the upgraded version of what you guys had, right? Basically the same thing, just a new generation, basically. It's amazing. I had a hard time pushing it because it was grabbing so much carpet and so much gunk on the floors. And I'm like, I'm cleaning this sucker like every month. I'm getting scissors. I'm cutting the hair off of this thing. I'm like taking care of it like it's my baby. Corey literally said to me, because I swept today, she goes, Ryan, do you like sweeping? And I'm like, honestly, yeah, I do. I don't have to step in stuff. I don't have to, you know, I'm not picking up dirt with my feet and then picking it off my feet and then throwing it in the trash can, which we've all done, right? I'm like legitimately, I'm enjoying it.
And you have carpet throughout, other than you know your bathroom and your kitchen area. You have carpet throughout. So like the sweeping on tile, like I have throughout 95% of my house. Like that's not as it doesn't give you that feeling as much as like when you vacuuming the carpet and you make the perfect line of like you go forward and then you curve it straight back and then go forward again. So like everything's that like that certain pattern, you know, that everybody knows.
Everybody, that's the crazy thing though. Everybody has their own patterns. When I sweep my floor, I make sure I get everything. So I'm a straight up and straight back, and I do it slowly. Granted, I'm not sweeping 2,000 square feet, right? I'm sweeping 700. So, and not even all of it's carpet, but I'm a straight up and then straight back, move it over, straight up, straight back. Because I have litter too. I have litter that's all over the place. I got cat hair. And an interesting topic that just kind of came up from me sweeping is Corey's like, do you like sweeping? I'm like, heck yeah, I like sweeping, because every time I walk around this apartment, I find a new piece of your hair somewhere. Honestly,
Oh.
you should be the one sweeping.
I don't understand how females are not bald. I honest to God don't. The amount of
Dude.
hair that is on like either the side of the shower, in the drain of the shower, in the sink,
Ugh.
on a hairbrush, on all of my clothes every time that the clothes are getting washed, which my wife does my laundry. I'm not complaining about that. I'm just like, again, it's just like always all over your clothes. And it's like
Mhm.
you're vacuuming, it's all over there, it's all over here. It's like and their hair are long, so it's like you didn't grow this
Yeah.
strand overnight. Like how are you not bald, and how do you not have a whole bunch of hair that's like, you know, an inch tall?
Listen,
And this-
I got 3 in my house, so
Oh God.
we could so we talk about vacuum. I got super pumped when I got a robot vacuum. Best purchase ever, BTW. But when I run it through the house, the amount of hair that comes out of that thing, and I looked at it one day in the garbage, and I'm like, we could sell this, and I don't know what like the equivalent of clothes like the homeless is with hair, but whatever that term is, we could do that for anybody that has no hair, because there's so much.
No, you're missing the boat, Andy. You're missing the boat completely. You need to figure out a way to turn it into clothing, sell it through a company called Holy Shirts and Pants.
Holy Shirts and Pants. Yeah, I
Right?
mean, yeah, it's a nonprofit.
I was sorry. I was talking to Corey about her hair too, because I was like, honestly, you should be the one cutting the sweeper. You should be the one sweeping.
Yeah.
You know, it's all your hair besides the dogs and the cats, right? That's a combo right there. But the whole conversation led to, I literally find hair everywhere on my body. As a man, you find hair in the 2 spots down below. Absolutely, 100% of the time. How's it get there? I don't know. I find hair randomly. Hair, once it falls off a woman's head, I'm pretty sure it grows little mini legs, and it's just a centipede at that point. Because I find it like sometimes it'll be on my shirt and then just get in my mouth, and I'm just like, what are you doing? I find it in my desk as my feet are on the floor right now. I'm working, you know, I'm moving my feet, I'm moving around. They'll get intertwined between my toes, and I'm just like, how the heck does this happen? So it was just a really, man. That's it for me. That's to all the women out there. Sweet more. I'm just kidding.
Oh, geez. Okay, that's good. That's good. It was just something I was messing with about, you know, stupid things that adults get excited about, and you took it in a whole different direction of stupid things that adults also get irritated by, aka men, right?
Yeah, I guess that could be my rant, right?
Dude, it's
So
not even that
back
we're
to
like
Ryan's
irritated
rant.
by it. It's just like we're like astounded. Like, how is this actually possible? The same thing goes for women's hands and feet. Like, I don't know how it is 98 in this house and your hands and feet are like at legitimately like 62 degrees. And whatever fusion, nuclear fusion, or reverse engineering that's going on, I need you to design that and hook that up to my AC unit, so that way I don't have to pay for as much power, because like there's a vacuum going on with those two things.
Oh yeah, it's terrible. And they're icicles, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, like, you could wake the dead. That's how cold that is. and the shock of getting that on your legs is blows my mind.
For sure. All right. Let's talk Cole's Crypto Corner, right? Because that's the last couple of weeks I've been talking about it, and it's
Say
been a
that
thing.
slower again.
Cole's Crypto Corner.
All right, it was all mumbled. You know, I want our
I should have recorded
listeners not live to be able to.
Andre the Giant just showed up.
So, those that know, I've gotten both of these idiots into mining crypto, Ethereum, to be exact, which in and of itself is addicting. And ironically enough, if we weren't in a chip silicon shortage, I'm pretty sure all 3 of us would have like at least like 5 to 7 video cards that we're literally sitting around mining nonstop, because that in and of itself is addicting. Because it's like you build this thing, and then it chews along, and it's like I can't show my screen, but like it's like literally a DOS prompt that's like showing you as it's breaking like each piece, finishing it up. It's showing you what it's completed, and there's another website that you can go to that gives you all the data and shows you how much that you're doing on a daily average, a weekly average, a monthly average, and then you get that first payout. And Andy should have gotten it last week, and for some reason he didn't. But that doesn't mean that he's stuck. It just means that he didn't meet the threshold in order to pay out. But the moment you get that first payout, that's when it's like, holy crap! It's not just a digit on a page. Like, I legitimately just got paid money. I legitimately just got paid an X amount of money that is very, very, very profitable right this second on what's happening, because the price of everything is going through the roof on crypto. I was mining for about a month, I think. I had like $175 in a month and that wasn't nonstop. You know, I don't do it during the day, during my work day, because I can't have my computer doing that stuff. I'm not doing it right now on things. There's instances where my damn room was so hot that I couldn't run it because I was just tired of sweating my ass off. So it's just addicting and very profitable. That's why a lot of people are jumping into it. A lot of people are building huge mining rigs. But I also have talked these two idiots into buying it as well. Andy just recently purchased his first, crypto coin today. I have some relatives that have chosen to get into it, and the thing is, I really hate talking it up too much, because I'm like, if you lose your money, it's not my fault. That's my biggest worry is like, or I told Ryan, and he's like, oh, I'm totally in. I'm in with the stuff. I'm like, hey, first off, this is not financial advice. I'm just telling you what I
was gonna sign a paper, and we're gonna make a fake contract saying, even though Ryan loses all of my money, I am okay with that and still love him. And then we'll both sign it. But anyways,
so
that did not happen.
So I'm in a few different ones. One of them is, so what everybody needs to know is each coin has a purpose, except for the garbage ones, and the garbage ones still have a purpose, but you need to do your own research, whether you're going to jump into it or not. But one of them is called XRP, and it is backed by a company called Ripple, which most people have actually heard of or seen an ad for over the last 8 years, because they've been in business for 8 years. And their big premise is to I'm paraphrasing the crap out of all of this, but make it easier to move money around the world, right? Go from one currency to the next and make it very, very easy to use and stuff, which is brilliant. Well, last December, the Security Exchange Commission, the SEC, slapped them on with a lawsuit, claiming that when they started selling coins, that people thought that they were buying the actual Ripple company and not the coin that the company runs on. And they're like, no, it was clear that we're not. Anyway, kind of BS. Done a lot of research on it, and it's kind of a sham just to hold the coin price down, because they took it off a whole bunch of exchanges. And they've started to win the lawsuit, and things have come out the last week, and it's gone from 52 cents to a minute ago is at $1.80 a coin. So I had a decent amount in that, because I jumped in a little bit early. 56 cents wasn't even that early, because you could have got in at 12.
Yeah, that's like not even a week. So when we talk time frames here, like, these are short time frames.
Yeah, short time frames to 3x your money on just that, right? And that's if you would have got in all the way. And I didn't get in all at that. I put in a little bit because I'm diversified amongst a bunch of them. But I put more money in as it started to grow, and then it exploded recently. So that one's doing the best for me. I'm also got Ethereum, and then some other ones that are out there that I'm just not going to mention yet. So Ryan, how's it going for you?
Well, and it's just crazy too, because you start talking this, your cell phone starts listening to you, and then even you start watching YouTube videos, you start doing all these things because you're just interested. One, you're invested, right? So you better be interested. Two, you're talking about it and you are interested, so you're learning more, you're reading more, and from talking about it, reading about it, so much more comes up via articles on your phone, YouTube videos, and so you're just like fully invested into this thing, even while I'm at work. And every single minute, I'm just like, wonder what it did. Wonder what it did. It could be an adjustment from 75 cents to 76 cents, like, and I'm just like, or 75 to like 73, and I'm just like,
Yeah, you don't even care
But
if it
it's
goes
just
up or down. You're just like,
No,
ooh,
you
it changed.
don't. It's just
Yep.
so cool to see and to analyze it really, because you can choose your data from a period of time of 1 hour, 1 day, 1 week, 1 year, all this 1 month, all this stuff. So it's just really cool to actually see, and as you're reading it, what each coin does, what each, because like you said, Ryan, everything has its own like little realm in the industry and cryptocurrency.
Mhm.
It's just really interesting to see it all fluctuating and working as a live organism. It's cool.
Yep.
Andy, you finally jumped in today, which was,
Yep.
you know, as the markets had already ballooned over the last week and a half, because it's not just the coins I just mentioned, a lot of them have. Why'd you want to jump in now?
A couple reasons. One, I think it's fun, right? Was Ryan talked about, and to play in, you know, so to speak, this alternate stock market world or that type of thing with things that, like, I'm looking at one that's 12 cents. So it's like, all right, if I buy something at 12 cents, it's over a week, it's up 106%. Okay. I could handle 106% return over a week, but I realize that a small investment can go a long way with this. So I think that's kind of neat too. But also it's kind of like, I have a house, and right now, if I sold my house, I can make a shitload of money, but I'd also have to take all that money and go buy another house that's extremely inflated as well. Whereas with this, it's the same type of principle, except if I make all this money, I'm not having to reallocate it back into something that's going to cost me more money. I just made a ton of money. So that $50 might turn into $2,000. So that 250% return that I might have made on my $50 to $2,000, that's insane. So I like that this is an entry into something more. And I've done that a lot through my life with, like, I went to massage schools because I'm like, sure, why not? Like an entry into something. So I like that part of it. Also, I mean, listen, you know, the innovation that we experience in just our lifetime has been tremendous, but the innovation that we'll experience the last part of, you know, our life and into the next 10, 20 years will be insane. And being able to be on the front of potentially something that's super cool is really neat. Like, it's so sci-fi that I can't help myself.
Yeah, and for those that are like, well, you're just still talking about something that's garbage, is just, you know, this fake stuff that's made up. I'm not going to challenge you on that. Like, go do your own research. But, like, if you would like to know more than just crypto, look up Web 3.0. Right? Like, we're already on Web 2.0. That's what exists now, you know, with social media and different stuff and apps and things. Like, you need to go look up Web 3.0 and do a little bit of research on that and realize that the whole entire thing runs on digital currencies, right? And what you need to understand is what we have now is a digital currency. Yes, they say weird, wacky things of like how you can have a piece of paper in your pocket, but like we just went through the C word shutdown where there was a coin shortage because they wanted, you know, not, whether they wanted to or not, it was just there was no way to do cash, so like everything was card. It was all digital anyway. You don't realize that like we've already mildly moved to it. It's just they can print a ton of it, which with crypto it's completely different, and it's decentralized. Not one person can choose to do something. The whole network has to choose to do it. Which, if you've ever watched the funny comedy show Silicon Valley, okay, like about decentralized internet and everything else, like it's a comedy, but it is so relevant to what this is. So look up Web 3.0. Know that we are coming. This will be the fourth industrial revolution that we're about to roll into with this stuff. So it is massive change that's going to happen. The world will start to convert to it. The United States potentially will over the next, starting in 2025, you're going to see massive shifts in, switching us onto a cryptocurrency that, whether it's the one that they create or utilizing ones that are already out there. China just literally announced that they're going to make their own and start to switch themselves onto that thing. So there's all these little nuances of what's happening to show you that, like, this is big business. And if there are big players in the game that realize what this means, and they are trying to get in early. If you think Elon Musk bet the farm on Tesla, everything that he has worked so damn hard to build, and he's almost lost that company multiple times, and they have, you know, $1.5 billion in cash to operate their company still, and they put all of it in Bitcoin, and it tripled over, you know, over like the next 3 weeks over that because he did. But he didn't do it just because of that, right? Just because of the publicity, and he thought everybody would jump in. He realizes that that's the way that it's going to go. The Angels baseball in LA, right? Is LA?
Anaheim.
Anaheim. There we go.
It's yeah, real close, just north.
Yeah. So in California, right? Like you can buy a suite from them because it's $60,000 a year is what they would normally charge to get a suite for the whole entire year, licensed to a business. If you think they're doing it just because, hey, Bitcoin is the hot word to use, there might be a small truth to that. But if they realize that, like, oh, well, if we were going to take $60,000 in cash, that cash is still only going to be worth $60,000 bucks. But if we take Bitcoin and we don't need it to operate the business, and we let it ride, knowing that the way everything's going, it's got to go up, then we can cash out at X time, and we have, you know, 5 times the money, 2 times the money, 1.5 times the money. It's a win-win. It's way more than you're ever going to get in your bank account. So one of the guys that I listen to talks a bunch about, he went to school to scale banks, worked for one of the biggest banks that's out there that has a W and an F in its name. And he's like, the whole banking system's not set up to help us as individuals. It's literally not. He's like, ironically, when everybody talks about the system's built to keep you down, he's like, the whole banking process, the whole financial system is built upside down, left to right, and it screws everybody unless you know that you shouldn't do certain things. Cash is garbage, absolute garbage. You shouldn't be sitting on any cash because all it's doing is smoking itself, especially the fact that they're just printing money left and right and stuff. So,
it's smoking itself.
Yeah, it's just total garbage. It's a smoldering pile of poo if you're sitting on it. You need to do something, whether you're investing in a stock market, buying a business, do something, because it just sitting there is just every day it's worth less.
Just put it in the bank and get your 0.2% interest on it.
Oh no, man! I wish I could get a 0.2 on my savings account. Mine's like a 0.015.
Yeah, but hey, you're still gaining, and that's what we're talking about here. I'm just kidding.
But anyway,
that's the next week's topic. Falling in line.
Yep, falling in line on that side of things, side of things. So overall, do your own research. We're not offering financial advice, but it's just fun. It's just fun, like Andy said. Throw $50 at it. It's $50.
This is one of those, and again, this is where my comment is to go off of all of that, right, Andy? It is just fun.
Yeah.
This one share costs 12 cents. Throw 12 cents at it.
Yeah.
Throw 12 cents at it. You'll own one share, and if it goes up to 20 cents, hey, you just made some, right? This is such an entry level. Everything else that I've seen on the market with these big companies, right? I mean, these are big companies, obviously. This is not your mom and pop shop, or this isn't something that just went public or something, but they're like 220, even $20. I mean, that's a lot, sometimes. So it's just an easy way to get in, learn the system, learn how everything works, and then grow from there.
Yep.
Absolutely. So do go have some fun. Go buy some coins. Play around with it. End up like Scrooge McDuck, where you're just swimming in a whole bank of it, but it's digital, so you'll have VR glasses on.
Yeah, just don't blame us.
Okay.
Just still love us after.
I mean, if you make a whole bunch and you want to throw a few coins our way, like I'm fine with that. You can send it to the PayPal address. Oh no, I'm just kidding. Reach out to slightlyaverageguys@gmail.com if you would like to shift some coins our way.
Has anybody ever emailed slightlyaverageguys? Really?
Yes.
What kind of emails you getting? It better not be just family and friends.
I'm pretty sure it was probably. I think it was a friend or a family. I don't think it was outside of that.
Come on.
Yep. Twitch does every time that we're done streaming every Wednesday night. Okay. All right. Okay. Next up, rounding third. Ryan wanted to talk about recycling. Okay. And I feel like it's such a heavy topic. I don't want to go to that one right this second, but I want everybody to marinate on what the hell could Ryan be worried about with recycling? Right? Like what? What in the world? Like, is he like a recycling buff? Is he just choosing to use used condoms to clean dishes, scrub pans because he just really wants to make sure that he recycles as much as possible? What does he mean? So You're going to hold that thought and do. I didn't really learn this today. I actually already knew it, and I'm 99% sure Andy knows this one, but I want to talk about it. Okay. All right. Disney uses a paint color called what to camouflage and hide objects and doors in their theme parks. And let's see if Ryan knows it, because I know you know it, Andy. Ryan,
Okay.
what is the color called that they use to paint things that they want to try to hide inside of their theme parks?
Didn't you just say it was what?
It's a name. It's a name of a paint. So it's paint.
I literally thought you said Disney uses a paint called what?
Well, no, that's a fill in the blank, asshole.
Well, you should have said that. I was just like, it's what? Nailed it. Got it. Okay,
Got it.
so Disney uses a paint to camouflage their doors, their access points for employees only, or maintenance or whatever.
Yes.
Doors that aren't open to the public, and they use a paint. Is it anything related to Disney movies, characters? No. Not even close.
It is a color, like black's a color, right? That's not the answer, but it's something color, meaning the a color, something a color.
Has a very specific name.
Is there any clues that won't give it away, but it's like enough to at least be in the realm? There's so many colors. I mean, are we talking just a color wheel, or are we talking like a color fan?
It's one solid color, a solid color, that ironically is not the color I would have actually thought. When you see it, you realize it. But so okay, there's just somebody hauling ass down my road that probably picked up on the mic. Okay, let's just go to Andy. Ryan, you failed.
All right.
Failed.
Yep. I'm cool with that.
Okay, so it's called Go Away Green, and so
How would I have ever guessed that?
every light post, door, whatever they don't want you to see, that they want you to essentially, like when you look at it, it should just fade into the back of whatever you're watching or viewing. It's called Go Away Green. So every light post, I think garbage can, in the around where the Pirates of the Caribbean are, there's that like secret Disney club. A lot of the doors are painted that, but anything that they are not wanting to be prominent is painted in that color.
That's interesting, because you would think, depending on the scene, depending on, Pirates of the Caribbean, lots of water, lots of wood, lots of green, you'd think would pop out, right?
So for those video users,
let's talk Harry Potter, lots of dark
screen.
scenes, lots of dark, like old houses. You'd think they'd go with a darker color to. That's interesting.
Well, I don't know if they do it in attraction. It's more so as you're wandering around the park, right? So like if you're just in downtown Disney, there's all these light poles and they have all kinds of shit going on. Those things are typically painted in that color. Or if you're coming up to an attraction and there's parts of it that they might not want you to really pay attention to that are just like permanent fixtures for whatever reason.
A beam or something that's literally there holding up like the foundation above you or the roof above you.
But I think it's done more so out of attraction versus in.
Correct.
And listen, if it's in attraction, I've never noticed it. So I mean, they did a great job. Right?
It went away.
Yeah.
That is pretty funny, though.
Just opened, so at some point, if we end up going back, I'll pay attention to that. That's for sure.
I don't think I would, unless I get so much money in Bitcoin or whatever type of cryptocurrency. I've never actually spent my own money on it, but all I hear is that stuff is so overpriced. Why would I want to pay for something for that?
I don't know. We have a blast. I mean,
yeah. Okay, maybe I'll just have to tag along with you guys.
I'm not a Disney guy. I'm not a Disney guy at all. Never really have been huge Disney. I've been to Disney before, not the California one, been to the Florida one before, and I can tell you that I'm much more of a Universal guy, because Universal is so more geared towards adults. Main movie stuff that's not kids movies and everything. But like, you got kids, like I know I'm gonna end up going to freaking Disneyland and Disney World way more. Also, I will admit that I think that I know for a fact the Universal in Florida is way better than the Universal in California. Just it's twice as the size. So
I think that's for everything in Florida. I've heard that in the
thought-
Disney over there. Is
I thought
better.
everything
Yeah,
was
the
bigger in
Disney
Texas.
World. Yeah.
I'm not
Maybe.
saying everything in Florida by all means, not even
Just-
close. Yep, I think about moving to Florida. About to be on the that what's the thing in Florida where you can like type in any day and you can always find something crazy in the news.
Oh,
It's like something absurd, like type
Today
your
in
birthday
Florida.
yeah, it's just today in Florida.
Something like
Yeah.
that.
It's just you just Google today in Florida.
Today in Florida. It's just crazy. Today today in Florida, I literally saw this guy fishing. It was just like a video right on a social media site that I get on quite often, and it was literally a guy fishing, and he just went like this with his fishing pole in the water, like
Oh yeah, I saw that.
just
I saw
switched
that.
it around, and then all of a sudden, it not like aggressively, not like but curious, right? This massive, I mean, massive alligator just like slowly comes up to the water. You can see its full body, and it's just like, "What's up, guys?" And
Yeah.
this is what you're fishing in. This is like saltwater and freshwater stuff
Mhm.
going on. Like, I love Florida, don't get me wrong, but whew, I would never
Mhm.
move there.
No.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Today in Florida. Let me move this over here so I can fade that in. Oh, look,
Speaking
local
of
news. Maybe like
Alligators. We went to there's an alligator farm down by Jacksonville. It's the St. Augustine alligator farm. Those things are the weirdest thing, man. And like they just lay there with their mouth open, and they're just these weird like dinosaur things. I actually got to hold one time, and it was odd. It was neat, but it was probably about 5 feet long, and it was pretty cool.
all I think. Anytime somebody talks about going to an alligator attraction, I only think about Joe Dirt. But
Right.
so today in Florida, man fleeing police crashes wedges Maserati under the freeway. Like, and this picture of this car just
How
jammed
do
up in
you
there.
even do that?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And
Only
not
in
die,
Florida.
by the way.
And what kind of guy has a Maserati running from the cops? Like,
He totaled his
Stolen?
girlfriend's Maserati. So.
Mhm.
oh,
Oh,
yep.
He's
this
a
is
keeper.
this isn't even Florida. This is in Oakland, California. So why did California show up on today in Florida thing? Anyway.
That's one perfect example why you can't trust the internet.
Yep.
You
No,
can't trust it.
you must have read that on the internet that you can't trust the internet because it's the
Oh.
internet. All right, Ryan. We are rounding third. We are at 37 minutes. What is your issue with recycling?
Oh, I thought we were gonna. Okay. I don't have an issue with recycling, but I've been born and raised to recycle, right? Or at least be considerate of it. Do I recycle everything? No. Do I attempt to recycle everything? I would say so, right?
Mhm.
And so I just watched this movie on Netflix about, the oceans and fish get involved, but it starts out with recycling and it's just so much has come up in the past like week, to be honest, with movies, with YouTube videos that I've seen, and then just commercials that I've seen on TV. And I think we'll kind of separate this is kind of my thoughts, because I think this could go quite a bit. But when you think about recycling and these videos and YouTube movies and stuff, there is no recycling. There is, but there isn't at the same time. And I think that's the problem. The people that are hardcore recyclists, and I haven't done my research, I haven't looked into this. This is just, again, me watching a couple of YouTube videos, watching a movie on Netflix, which, again, everything you watch always tries to segue you into one area of the situation, right? I'm trying to be as open-minded as possible, understanding that, hey, there's a much broader perspective on a lot of this stuff than just what I watched, right? So, but the movie goes into plastic straws, and everybody's switching over to metal straws because plastic is just that does from the movie, right? That does nothing. Okay, that's like the worst. I don't want to say worst thing. Anything's better than nothing, right? But that does nothing.
Oh, there was I saw this big, he was trying to break down data and was talking about, do I think we have a plastic problem? Yes. Do I think straws are any bit of the major part of the plastic problem? No. Do plastic straws cause a problem? Yes. So he's like, now let me use data to back into my theory. And it was like the amount of plastic that the world produces. And it was like this huge, like it was a big thing that was like zoomed out, right? And it was like the size of Jupiter, essentially, right? And then it was like, okay, things that we can control. And it was, from the United States. So it was like, okay, the amount of plastic that the United States uses versus it creates versus everybody else. And it was like, jumped. And it was like, okay, like half or something. Like we create half. It was like ridiculous, but it was still not as much as before. All right. Then it just kept breaking it down on this piece and this piece and this piece. And then it like got down to the amount that straws actually, feed into pollution. It was like a micro dot. It would be like, you taking a pencil, and then backing all the way out and standing on top of the Arizona Cardinals stadium and expecting to see that change actually affect anything. And that's just from standing on top of the stadium and looking straight down, right? Like you can't ever see that versus, all right, plastic bags are way worse than, the straws. Like, so why don't you do that? But no, we focused on straws but we didn't change anything else. So now you could buy these metal things that were packed in plastic and shipped to you that used up more carbon, had a bigger carbon footprint and everything else because we focused on something that was so minuscule. We treated the symptom, not the problem.
And at the end of the day, I think what really kind of like, I don't want to say flipped a switch or anything like, or pissed me off, because, it didn't piss me off. Again, do I try to be mindful? Yes. Do I do it all the time? No. Do I think recycling can make a difference? Right? Yeah, probably. Right. But we got to have more processes and more defined separation of both of these and actually recycle. But one of the things that they said was, okay, so you hit this recycle button, right? And I'll try to get the camera in here, and the recycling is like a circle, right? And he said, but really what we're doing right now with a lot of the plastics that we have is we're going like this. We're taking it from one side, we're doing a loop because we can reuse it. It's not reduce, reuse, recycle. It's reduce. It's not even reduce. It's really just reuse it, right? All the plastics that we have, you can just always reuse them, reuse them, reuse them. But what happens, again, when you try to recycle those? It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't do this. And the second point that it was the numbers. There's a very specific logo for reduce, reuse, recycle, and recycling in general. There's a very specific logo. What had happened was basically they made the logo look so similar, but just changed it up so drastically or so slightly that it was like, hey, everybody thinks it's recycling, but it's not.
Yeah, where you see like
you, it's just a mind game.
Yeah, where you see the arrows and it's got like a 1 through, I think there's actually goes up to like 9 or 10, and it's the type of plastic. But that doesn't mean that that you can recycle it. It's just basically like the type of plastic that it is. It doesn't have anything to do with the recycling capabilities. And in most cases, your recycling division at your business or your house or your work or whatever else can't recycle most of those. For the easiest example,
they said out of like the 9 or 10, right, that you may have mentioned, and it may be just slightly less, I'm not sure, they can maybe, just maybe, if they want to take the time, take 1 or 2.
Wow.
That's it. It's just insane. And it all, again, there's been so much compiling in about a week, like in my brain, from visuals to hearing stuff, that Corey even just mentioned the other day, a couple days ago, the garbage truck came to pick up the garbage. Corey's leaving, and we got, we live in an apartment. We got massive cans, right? We're not talking about just a 50-gallon drum. We're talking about these massive cans. Where the garbage truck, we literally walked from one side of the complex to the other to be able to throw trash away and to throw the recycling away. Okay, these are opposite sides. Is a lot? No. Does it get my steps in? Yeah. But this truck literally picked up the same stuff and just dumped it all in there.
Oh, wow.
And as in your head, you're just like, really?
Yeah, well, you have to actually look too. Like, so for those that don't live in Phoenix, we used to like subsidize all of our recycling by the fact that like China and everybody would buy it from us and like give us a ridiculous amount of money for the plastic that again is not recyclable. I don't understand the whole premise of it. Like, why were they ever buying it? But so what happened was they started to run out of money because they used to like make like $26 million or something a year off of selling this crap, you know, and they also charged us in order to come pick it up. Well, now it's gone from like 26 million to $1 million, like in 2020, you know, is what ended up happening. So they wanted to try to charge it. They gave everybody the option to vote on it. Are they going to up your rates by like 5 times? Only pick up twice a week, which I'm like, what does that do? Like, you still have the same amount. It's just the cans are fuller.
Right.
Or stop it completely. And I was like, well, the 2 of these are stupid. Like, and the other one's still dumb because I don't want to pay 5 times the amount. Like, can we just like do something anyway? So they voted to raise it for it, but that's just for residential. Most businesses or complexes like Ryan that you live in, even though you're a residential complex, the complex has to pay a massive amount of money in order to have those there. So I would be willing to guess that they chose that it's too expensive. We're just not going to do it. So there's a regular trash can there that used to be the recycling one, but now it's just, you know, a regular trash can.
They just told us. They used to be in the same area. They even told us, hey, go down there. The one down there is recycling. They had notes and they had emails and everything. Anyways, you just can't trust it, and it's sad. I'm not saying you should stop. I'm not saying I'm saying you should still do your part or try to. I think recycling can be a good thing, right? But it's not where it needs to be for sure.
Yeah, I just go ahead, Andy.
I was gonna say, I think that Netflix has a very powerful way about them on that we watch those shows, because there's been definitely times where I watch it. I mean, shit, man. Last year, I hated Carol Baskin, and I think everybody in the entire United States did. And that's another example of I watched recycling, and now I'm like, I'm in.
Yeah. And again, I'm trying to keep a broad perspective on a lot of this stuff, because you watch one thing, they narrow in on this. You watch another thing, they narrow in on this. I'm pretty sure you can watch 3 different documentaries about the same thing on Netflix, and they all tell you different sides of the story, right?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, of them are. It's called unjust documentation, right? Like whatever narrative they're trying to originally lead with, that's the one that it comes out with, regardless of if it's 100% factual. It can still be facts. It's just you're leaving out other facts as well. Now,
yeah, it's like
I'm the guy that's always recycles because I'm like Ryan, right? Like I don't care. I'm gonna at least do my part. Just because I think that it's dumb doesn't mean that I won't do it. It's like taking the shopping cart back to the cart corral, right? Like I'm always the guy that's got to take it. However, if you're dumb enough to not put the damn like any return in like the left field of the place, I'm like, well, okay, I'm gonna stack it where everybody else stacks it because at least they're all together, right? Like anyway, I've totally digressed.
I hate you for saying that.
So the one thing like I will admit like that made me like really feel like outside of people telling you there's a problem. Started watching a show on not Netflix, Amazon Prime. Bear Grylls. It's called The Island. And they take like 30 women, put them on an island, take 30 men, they put them on an island. It literally is a 100% freaking, there's no people living on that island. It's, you know, there's no indigenous people, there's nothing. It's just an island, not sand. It's like completely overgrown. There's a swamp area, there's alligators in certain places. It's like Survivor in the real life, right? Like 4 of them are camera crew people that aren't just camera crew, they are also people that are participating in the damn experiment. And they drop them off at one side of the island, which is not the one that you want to live on. It's like the crappy side where it's getting hammered by like the waves and stuff. There's no beach. So they have to try to decide, are they going to still stay there? They got to go someplace else. Well, if you go to the other side of the island, there's a beach that's not the greatest, but it's still a beach. And when they get over there, there's so much like everything is covered in trash and all this plastic and shoes and everything else. And at first I thought, oh, they're literally just trying to tell this narrative. And you realize quickly that like, they don't like the way that this whole thing's produced. They don't give a literally the whole entire thing is just like, oh, it's just there. It's really there. They didn't want to help out anybody. They have walkie-talkies. If somebody gets bad enough, they can call in medical help just because nobody wants anybody to die, right? But no, like that's how bad it truly is. And they're so far off of, I think they're somewhere in Britain, but I'm not sure. Anyway, it's not super, like you can watch like each episode only follows one of the either follows the males or the females. Like they don't mix it up, and I wish they would have at least done a better production on that one. So you can watch like 3, maybe 4 episodes, and then it's like, you don't need to watch it anymore. But it's like interesting to just watch. start out with.
Yeah, that's interesting. And I think this will lead into our next topic next week pretty well, right? Because with a lot of this, keep this episode in mind. Hopefully you've listened to it. Hopefully you've watched it. And then I think next week we'll be into that falling in line.
Yeah.
So
Get in line. What were you taught
I think that'll be good.
your whole entire life? That's the right thing to do, that you have to do, right? So we appreciate everybody viewing us, especially those that recently just jumped into Facebook or YouTube Live. So we appreciate everybody being there. For those that are listening or watching later on, thank you. Please give us a review or a like and share with everybody else. Thanks, everybody. We will see you guys next week.
Thanks.